Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly. There's just so many things that have been going on. So many ideas have been popping into my mind. And the one thing that really came to mind is I've been showing off these really fancy aircraft. That Piper, not mad at it at all. Beautiful aircraft. And definitely the Cirrus. Mwah. I mean, come on. If I could really have one of those, I would have one yesterday. But not realistic right now because my budget doesn't look like that. But what does make sense is this aircraft right here. And so rather than just showing off all the fancy schmancy stuff, I want to talk about this 152. Little Sammy, as I call him, because he's small but mighty. And I just want to showcase this aircraft because it is also awesome. Yes, it's a little older. Yes, it's smaller. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but this is an awesome aircraft. So let's talk about little Sammy, this 152, and I'll tell you why I love this aircraft so much. Okay, so let's talk some statistics about little Sammy here. It is a Cessna 152. It is a Type C 152 Cessna. It is a 1982 model. It has a Lycoming O235 engine. Has 110 mighty horsepower. And believe it or not, it has in it a Garmin 430. And so yeah, amazing aircraft. And that 110 may not sound like a lot, but we'll talk about why that 110 is kind of awesome, because there's a nice little secret about this aircraft, and which is going to be my third reason why I love it. But don't want to jump too far ahead. But yes, it has a Garmin 430. It is only VFR rated, unfortunately, but that's okay. Still love it. All right, so let's get into, now that we've got the stats out of the way, let's get into what the three reasons why I love this aircraft so much. 152, Sammy all day. Let's go. Okay, so you may be saying, why do you love this airplane so much? Well, there's three major reasons why I absolutely love this 152 94006, and I'm gonna get into number one right now. Let's go. Okay, so from the outside, you can see, I mean, it is a high wing aircraft. And you know, literally, if you see here, I'm actually up to the wing, so you kind of have to stoop down. But the thing that I like about this is I understand all the control surfaces. I know what to look for when I'm doing my pre-flight check. I want to know that I'm looking at this pitot tube, make sure there's nothing here or in the drain hole. I really understand about the stall warning horn and stuff. And typically, if I were to come onto here, I would be looking to bring these flaps down so that I could look at the rollers and the trails down in here. And so I really just understand what's happening with this aircraft. I know to look at the static port here, the landing gear, to see if there's any leaks or anything down around here. And I just understand these control surfaces. They're very basic, and their control lock is in, so I can't move the elevator right now. But I know to look in here, look at the cables. This is the trim, and the arm, the rudder, and just very basic control surfaces. Nothing really fancy. And so the thing that I really love is that anytime you're going to do pre-flight, the first thing I always do, always check the fluids. I want to see what the fuel level is. So fuel level and fuel quality, two things that I start up with right off the bat. Now, to do that, it's real easy. I basically come under here, and you see this right here? This is where I sunk, right here. I don't have to get on the ground. I don't have to crawl underneath. It's right there. How easy and cool is that? So that's the one of the many advantages that I like. Fuel sumping, very easy. I will say that getting back into, you know, putting the fuel back in, It's a little bit of a pain. I mean, you got to crawl up here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here on Sammy. So put the fuel back in, got to step on this step, put your foot up there, and you got to get up there. And so that's a little bit of a pain, but not too big a deal. As you can see, 904006, very basic, very easy for pre-flight. Definitely easy to, you know, when you're doing your pre-flight, you don't forget stuff. Very easy checklist stuff, and things are easy to get to. And so that's one of the things that I like. Airframe, very basic, and I understand this platform. So the first thing I really love about this aircraft is the airframe. Very basic, very easy to get into. Second thing I love is the interior, and I'll get to the interior right now. This is the second thing that I love about this aircraft. So let's take a look inside right now. Okay, so as we go into the interior, one of the things you'll notice, just 2 seats. That's it. 2 seats, and in the back, just a little storage area. Nothing really you're gonna put back here. And yes, the interior is a little older, but it's okay. And again, the thing that I love about this aircraft is its simplicity. Very, very simple. In fact, the one thing that's really cool is, if you look down here, you see this fuel, 24.5 gallons, and there's a switch here. The switch is either on in this position, or you pull it up and it is off. That's it. No switching fuel tanks, no worrying about fuel on both, left, right, none of that kind of stuff. And so that's the thing that I love. The fuel is either on or off, period. Can't get any more basic than that. The other thing that I like is that the flight controls are very basic as well. Woo, a little windy. And so you got your basic 6-pack, and I understand all of this stuff. That's why I love this aircraft. You know, my airspeed, my attitude indicator, my altimeter, my heading indicator, vertical speed, turn coordinator with a ball, not some little dash, which I'll get used to the little dashes eventually, but I understand this. I understand, like, if it's going left or right, you know, if it's over here, right rudder, step on the ball. If it comes over here, left rudder, step on the ball. I get all of that, and that's what works for me right now as a lower time pilot. 2 controls, throttle, mixture. That's it. No prop, no other things. And I love this flap lever right here, because if you can see here, it gives me an indication: 0 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees. And I actually even have a little detent here that it goes down into. So this little, I don't know if you can see this, but see that little notch there? That's 10 degrees. That notch there, 20, and then when it comes all the way down there, you're into 30 degrees. Cabin air, cabin heat, you pull that out, you got heat. Cabin air, you pull that out, you got air, you know. And then there's your RPMs, your EGE, EGT, engine gas temperature, exhaust gas temperature for when you are leaning out, and then your amp meter. Basic, real easy. Switches, on, off, beacon, nav, dome light for inside, and your taxi landing light, and trim wheel right here. No electric trim, nothing like that up here. Just a good old-fashioned trim wheel. Works for me. And the thing that's really cool is, even though this is a very basic aircraft, it has a Garmin in it. So, I mean, what's not to like about this? So this panel is nice, clean, approachable, easy to understand. The vents, very easy. They're just, you know, pull it out. See that? See that little cutout? The air comes out. Push it in, no air. And then of course your you know, your magnetic compass and whatnot. So this just works. I mean, it really just works. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not class, it's not fancy. Right, it's not. I mean, it does have this Garmin here, and I'll talk more about the characteristics later, about what kind of Garmin that is. But yeah, that's the thing that I love. It's just easy. It's just basic. It just works. And even the seat, little cranks, Nice and easy, nothing, easy peasy. Now, in order to talk about the third reason why I like this aircraft, we're gonna have to go back to this oil port. And I wanna show you something. I want you to look in there. You may not be able to see, but you see there's a lot of new wires and new harnesses and stuff like that. A lot of new washers and equipment. Yeah, and then take a look over here. See how this is nice and new looking. Alternator belt looks good. And let's come over here. Hoses, everything is looking so clean. That's right, this engine is rock solid. This engine has been completely rebuilt, and I have flown it since it has been rebuilt, and it is amazing. It definitely performs right on time. The power's there. Not a whole lot, but the power that's supposed to be there is there. And so that's the thing I love about this aircraft. It has all that it needs. It is basic, it is user-friendly, it is very approachable, it is very non-intimidating. And I will tell you, if you get an opportunity to fly a 150 or 152, please do so. Yes, you're probably gonna have to fly by yourself because the useful load, not that high. But it really is such a great aircraft. Now, nobody's flying today because I believe, oh man, a direct crosswind if I'm looking at the windsock over there, and it's gusting anywhere from 25 to 30. As you can see, I'll keep sticking my hand in my pocket, you know, because it is really kind of gusty. Not a good day. And it will push you around a little bit, but that's the beauty of it, right? It's a smaller aircraft. It is going to make you light on the controls because your inputs have to be a lot more subtle. You can't try to slam this thing around. It's just not going to work. So that's the thing I love about this aircraft. So I wanted to showcase this little 152. I know the Piper, awesome aircraft. That PA-28 181, awesome aircraft. Can't wait to fly it. That Cirrus 20, awesome aircraft. Can't wait to fly. But this little baby is awesome as well. And I take nothing away from the fact that he may be a little older, a little longer in the tooth, a little less, you know, bells and whistles, a little less polished, but performs like crazy. And I'll fly this plane any day of the week. And in fact, if I had it my way, I would fly it every day. Maybe would even want to own the daggone thing. For real. Wouldn't be mad at this as a first aircraft to build some time and learn some things. I don't think it's IFR equipped, so that would be the only drawback. The panel doesn't have IFR capability, so I think that was one of the things that would like kind of be like the holdback. But you know, other than that, great platform, great aircraft. All right, so that's pretty much it. Russ can fly. I'm out. 152, fly baby, fly. Peace.